Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Special. 여러분 안녕하세요. 7월 29일 월요일, 저는 Karen Choi입니다. Now more than ever, everything that relates to Korea takes the spotlight. From music, movies, and art to language and food, all things K are day by day setting milestones around the world. And that is the case also with our national martial art Taekwondo, which will soon open a chapter in the far land of Africa. 이르면 내년 아프리카 대륙 통틀어 첫 태권도 학과를 개설합니다. 현재 강원도 평창에서 열리고 있는 세계 태권도 한마당에 케냐 선수단을 이끌고 참가한 이재석 사범의 말인데요. 케냐 수도 나이로비의 데단키마티 국립대에 태권도 학과 개설을 추진 중인데 곧 결실을 볼 수 있을 것이라며 이같이 밝혔습니다. 케냐 선수단은 지난 7월 초 춘천 코리아 오픈, 전주 오픈 등 태권도 대회에 참가해 메달 입상도 나오는 성과를 거뒀는데요. 이번 대회에서도 격파 경연에서 케냐 선수들의 활약을 기대하고 있다고 합니다. Well, it is always impressive when a part of our culture is exposed to international audiences, be it K-pop, K-dramas, or K-sports. 여러분 안녕하세요. 수진쌤 대신 잠시 진행을 맡은 Karen입니다. 반갑습니다. It's really great to be back here at EBS and here in the studio with you. Now, with that in mind, let me give you a quiz question here. Here's today's quiz. Taekwondo is a renowned discipline that uses blank in various colors to differentiate ranks. Number 1, belts. Number 2, hats. 오늘도 청취자 여러분의 많은 참여를 기다리고 있습니다. 여러분의 퀴즈 정답을 보내주신 분들 중에는 추첨을 통해서 5분께 고칼슘 쌀룬 두유를 드리겠습니다. 짧은 문자는 50원, 긴 문자는 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시면 되고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스를 이용도 가능합니다. Okay, then let's kick off today's show with today's global headlines. 세계 각국 언론사들의 어떤 헤드라인이 올라왔는지 살펴보는 시간입니다. Touch Global Headlines.
A mass protest condemning the so-called white terror groups took place in Hong Kong over the weekend.
지난 주말 홍콩에서 백색 테러를 규탄하는 대규모 시위가 벌어졌습니다.
Police in Moscow have detained more than 1,000 people amid a crackdown on demonstrators calling for fair elections.
러시아 모스크바에서 공정선거를 촉구하는 시위가 2주 연속 열린 가운데 참가자 1,000여 명이 경찰에 연행됐습니다.
At least 19 people, including 4 police officers, have been killed in the Philippines in the last 10 days.
필리핀 중남부에서 최근 열흘 사이 경찰관 4명을 포함한 19명이 연쇄 피살됐습니다.
At least 18 people have been killed or are missing after a landslide at a Myanmar jade mine.
미얀마에서 산사태로 광산 근로자 등 최소 18명이 숨지거나 실종됐습니다.
Japan reportedly plans to introduce about 20 large unmanned helicopters to its maritime self-defense force destroyers and other ships.
일본 해상자위대가 대형 무인 헬기 20기를 도입할 계획이라는 보도가 나왔습니다.
Two South Korean fishermen have returned home 11 days after they were detained by North Korea on a Russian fishing ship.
북한에 납포됐던 러시아 어선의 한국인 선원 2명이 억류 11일 만에 무사히 귀환했습니다. And we are joined here in the studio by Walter 선생님. Good morning.
Well, a very hearty good morning to you, and I always take this time to say the same to our listeners and any viewers out there, but I am going to pay a little more attention to you today than I would for the listeners, at least for this very first part, because it's my very first time to be on air with you, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Me too. I'm very pleased to be here in the studio with you, Walter 선생님, as well as our listeners today. We have some messages that have come in. We have 정정현 이님, who says, 캐런쌤 안녕하세요. 아나운서 발음 좋네요. Oh, thank you.
Well, that's a really nice way to kick it off, isn't it?
Yeah, and 차현숙님 says, Karen Choi 선생님 반갑습니다. As well as 김종섭님 and 오선화님, who have all said hello and good morning to us here today.
Well, we say it all the time on our show, but of course, we're nothing without our listeners, and we do have the best listeners in the world. Very supportive, very encouraging, and so I hope that they're having a good Monday as always, and that we, of course, also have a good Monday.
Yes, good morning, everyone. All right, so it's time for us to take a look at the headlines, but before that, let me just remind our listeners here. 여러분이 방금 들으신 헤드라인은 모닝 스페셜 홈페이지 헤드라인 다시 듣기에서 무료로 다시 들으실 수 있습니다. So 많은 이용 부탁드리겠습니다. All right, Walter, so let's go over the headlines.
Headline number 1. A mass protest condemning the so-called white terror groups took place in Hong Kong over the weekend.
지난 주말 홍콩에서 백색 테러를 규탄하는 대규모 시위가 벌어졌습니다.
So, of course, our listeners will know that we've been reporting on the going-ons there in Hong Kong for quite some time now. The original protest started, I think it was about 7 weeks ago over that controversial extradition bill. But now the more recent protests are in response to these so-called white terror groups. These are the groups that have been victimizing and attacking the demonstrators, and they're called white terror groups because they've been mostly wearing white T-shirts.
Right. 월터 선생님이 말씀하신 대로 지금 거의 2달째 진행이 되고 있는 상황인데요. 이 백색 테러란 21일 위안랑 전철역에서 100여 명의 흰옷을 입은 남성이 쇠몽둥이와 강목 등으로 송환법 반대 시위 참여자들과 시민들을 무차별적으로 공격해서 일어난 사건이라고 하지요.
And as been the case with many of the demonstrations, either against that extradition bill or more recently against these violent attacks, they start off peacefully, but then towards the end of the demonstrations, there are some incidents of violence that do erupt. Such was the case on Saturday when a peaceful march in one of the towns there turned what some people say chaotic as police fired tear gas, rubber bullets, and sponge grenades, and then also charged into those group of demonstrators.
네, 처음에는 이렇게 평화로운 시위가 시작이 되는데 이번에도 좀 약간 과격해졌는데 경찰은 최루탄과 시위 진압용 스펀지탄을 이용해서 이 시민들을 강제 해산에 나섰기도 했습니다.
And very interestingly, we're seeing somewhat of a reaction to these 7 weeks of demonstrations, with a lot of people in Hong Kong expressing an interest of moving to Singapore. One of the international schools there in Singapore has reported that inquiries as to admission into that school from Hong Kong have risen some 50 to 60%, as well as the number of students actually attending that school from Hong Kong has risen to a relatively small number at 6, but that is a large increase over just the 1 or 2 students who had studied there previously.
네, 이렇게 불안정한 상황이 지속됨으로써 이 불안감을 느낀 홍콩인들이 싱가포르 등 외국으로 향하고 있다고 하는데요. 뭐 부동산 중개업체나 교육 컨설팅 업체 등에서 싱가포르 이민이나 부동산 투자 또는 유학 이런 문의가 급증하고 있다고 합니다. 네, 다음 뉴스로 넘어가 보겠습니다.
Headline number 2. Police in Moscow have detained more than 1,000 people amid a crackdown on demonstrators calling for fair elections.
러시아 모스크바에서 공정선거를 촉구하는 시위가 2주 연속 열린 가운데 참가자 1천여 명이 경찰에 연행됐습니다.
Right, as the headline mentions, it's been reported that more than 1,000 people have been detained. The exact number is just slightly over 1,000 and does differ depending on who is reporting that number. There were at least 1,074 arrests made, according to officials, while another group of monitors said that there were 1,127 arrests made there. There had been an arrest of the opposition leader Alexei Navalny, we reported on last week. He was arrested and sentenced to jail for 30 days after another so-called unapproved demonstration.
네, 브라드미르 푸틴 러시아 대통령에 저항하는 시민들의 목소리가 점차 커지고 있는데요. 이 오는 9월 모스크바 시의회 선거를 앞두고 공정한 선거를 요구하는 이 대규모 시위가 지금 2주 연속 열리고 있는데 연행된 사람의 수가 약간 다르다고 합니다.
And if we try to answer the question as to why are these protests happening, of course there are several reasons, but one of the main reasons was that candidates in a local election there were asked to collect 5,000 signatures in order to stand for that election. Many people saying that limit of 5,000 is quite high. In addition to that, getting at one signature required that people had to give up their personal information that would then be entered into a database of the government, so you could understand why people might be reluctant or hesitant to do that. Nevertheless, many candidates were said to have met that standard of 5,000. However, later then the government did go back and say that several of the signatures were invalid.
이 시위대는 주요 야당 후보를 투표용지에서 제외한 선거 당국의 결정을 규탄하면서 거리로 쏟아졌는데 이들은 푸틴 없는 러시아, 푸틴은 퇴진하라 등 구호를 외치며 9월 8일로 예정된 시의회 선거에서 야당 후보들의 출마 허가를 요구했다고 외신이 전하고 있습니다. Alright, let's move on to our next headline.
Headline number 3. At least 19 people, including 4 police officers, have been killed in the Philippines in the last 10 days.
필리핀 중남부에서 최근 열흘 사이 경찰관 4명을 포함한 19명이 연쇄 피살됐습니다.
So this one particular region that has been the location where we've seen this violence and these killings happening in the last week and a half or so is in an area known as the Negros Oriental Province. In response to these killings now, there is much concern that martial law will be imposed there. The provincial office of the Philippine National Police did report that the gunmen involved in several of the attacks were identifying themselves as members of the so-called NPA or New People's Army.
네, 필리핀 중남부 네그로스 오리엔탈주에서 최근 열흘 사이 경찰관 4명을 포함한 19명이 괴한에게 살해되었는데 이 괴한들은 벽에 신인민군 or NPA 영원하라 타도 두테르테라는 구호를 적고 달아났다고 하는데요. 이 NPA는 필리핀 공산당의 무장 조직이고 두테르테는 필리핀 대통령을 지칭하는 것이죠.
Now, after the provincial office made that announcement, the Communist Party of the Philippines, or the CPP, issued a statement denying any involvement in those attacks and, of course, in turn, blamed the military, the police, and parliamentary forces for the killings. Yes, indeed.
네, 현지에서는 계엄령을 선포해야 한다는 목소리가 아까 월터 선생님이 말씀하셨던 대로 나오고 있는데 경찰은 공산 반군의 계획적인 범행인지 확인하고 있고 하지만 필리핀 공산당은 성명에서 이 혐의를 전면 부인하고 있습니다.
And in one example of the extreme violence here of these killings, the gunmen, whoever they may be, killed one of the village chiefs there, Ernesto Posadas, and in that killing they spray-painted allegations that he was a so-called traitor to the NPA on walls and buildings in that area.
네, 아까 말씀드린 대로 이 괴한들이 27일 오전 2시 반 현지 시각으로 아융온시에서 에나르데시도 전 시장의 집에 침입해서 전 시장과 조카에게 총격을 가해서 숨지게 하고 이 전에도 카나리온시의 현직 시의원과 기초단체 대표가 각각 자택에서 총격을 받아서 사망했습니다. Okay, let's move on to our next headline.
Headline number 4, at least 18 people have been killed or are missing after a landslide at a Myanmar jade mine.
미얀마에서 산사태로 광산 근로자 등 최소 18명이 숨지거나 실종됐습니다.
So as the headline states, there have been so far at least 18 people killed or missing after this landslide. The landslide was said to have taken place in the early hours of Sunday as land itself, earth and mud, engulfed a guard post there. 4 additional people were also reported missing and feared dead. This occurred in a region in the northern area, of the country. That northern area is frequently hit by these so-called deadly accidents, even in the mining industry. The government, in response to that, has made pledges to improve the conditions there. However, as we've seen from this latest accident, that has not yet happened.
네, 미얀마 북부 카친주 흑파칸트 지역에서 일어난 일인데 이 지역은 중국과 인도와 국경을 접하고 있는 지역으로 최근에 산사태로 인한 인명피해가 잇따르고 있습니다.
Now, in response to this latest accident, the government has ordered that all mining activity in the area cease during the monsoon season there, which runs from May until October. However, despite that government order, there are said to be still many people in the area scavenging, that is, doing unauthorized mining for the jade that is in that region.
네, 정부에서 이제 금지를 시켰습니다. 하지만 아직도 사람들이 거기서 이 옥을 찾고 있다고 하는데요. 아까 말씀드린 대로 이 지역이 그 산사태로 인한 인명피해가 계속 잇따르고 있는데 지난 4월에도 대규모 산사태로 한 50여 명이 사망했습니다.
Yes, indeed, that is the case. Unfortunately, this is not the first time, as we alluded to, and more specifically, as you said, in April, there were some 55 mining company employees who were killed in a similar type of accident when a body of water, a small lake, some are describing it as a pond, above the mining area, overran its banks and then did kill those 55 people. That led to the suspension of some 17 mining areas.
네, 그리고 지난해 5월에도 산사태로 한 17명이 숨지고 2011년도에도 큰 사태가 일어났다고 합니다. Okay, let's go over our next headline.
Headline number 5. Japan reportedly plans to introduce about 20 large unmanned helicopters to its maritime self-defense force destroyers and other ships.
일본 해상 자위대가 대형 무인 헬기 20기를 도입할 계획이라는 보도가 나왔습니다.
So the announcement here is in the not too distant future. This particular helicopter model is expected to be selected in the year 2022, with the actual procurement said to be starting the following year in 2023. The reason for this is said to be because of China's maritime expansion in the region. The Japanese government wants to then strengthen its early warning and surveillance activities.
네, 지금 당장 일어날 일은 아니고 2022년 기종을 선택한 뒤 2023년부터 무인 헬기를 배치할 계획이라는데요. 중국군의 해양 진출과 관련해 생카쿠 아니면 중국어로 갸오위다오 열도의 경계 감시 활동을 강화하기 위한 조치입니다.
And this is actually not the first time for such an announcement from the Japanese government. In December of last year, the Japanese cabinet decided to introduce 3 unmanned helicopters as part of its 5-year medium-term defense program for the years 2019 through until 2023. So, of course, this latest announcement now of some 20 such helicopters would seem to be an expansion of that program.
네, 이런 발표를 한 것은 처음은 아니고요. 지난 12월 3기의 무인 헬기를 도입할 계획이라는 보도가 이미 나왔습니다.
Interestingly, under current legal regulations in Japan, the operation of these unmanned aircraft must be monitored by direct eyesight from a manned aircraft or from other locations. So if Japan does want to increase its use of these so-called unmanned aircraft, it will have to look at changing its current policies and regulations.
네. All right, so let's move on to our last headline.
Headline number 6. 2 South Korean fishermen have returned home 11 days after they were detained by North Korea on a Russian fishing ship.
북한에 납포됐던 러시아 어선에 한국인 선원 2명이 억류 11일 만에 무사히 귀환했습니다.
So this occurred on July 17th. The 2 South Korean fishermen in question were on board a 300-ton crab fishing vessel. They were there along with 15 Russian crew members as well. That vessel was detained by North Korea's Coast Guard in the country's northeastern waters. The reason for that detention was so-called violation of the rules of entry and stay. It was said also that the ship's engine was reportedly out of order at the time of the detention.
네, 억류 11일 만에 풀려났는데요. 지난 16일 오후 속초항을 출발해서 러시아 자루비노 항으로 향하던 중 17일 동해상 북측 수역에서 기관 고장으로 표류하다 북한에 납포되었죠.
And after a repair, yes, indeed, the ship was said to have left North Korea's port in Wonsan around 7 p.m. on Saturday, arriving in Korea at around 1 p.m. Sunday in a port in Sokcho. And so far, the 2 South Korean fishermen on board are said to be confirmed to be in good health.
네, 이 전날 오후 7시경 북한 원산항을 출발해서 28일 오후 1시 7분 정도에 속초항에 무사히 도착했습니다. Okay, so those were the headlines for today. 모닝 스페셜 홈페이지를 방문하시면 새로운 메뉴를 발견할 수 있는데요. 바로 헤드라인 다시 듣기입니다. 그날의 다양한 세계 뉴스를 2분 안에 확인할 수 있는 모닝 스페셜 헤드라인 다시 듣기 모닝 스페셜 홈페이지에서 무료로 만나보실 수 있습니다. Now, before going to a song break, let's remind our listeners of the quiz.
I would be happy to do that. Today's quiz, everybody, asks this question. Taekwondo is a renowned discipline that uses blank in various colors to differentiate ranks. Would that be number 1, belts, or number 2, hats?
네, 짧은 문자는 50원, 긴 문자는 100원, 샵 1045로 보내주시면 됩니다. 그리고 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 1부에서는 추첨을 통해 5분께 고칼슘 쌀룬 두유를 드리겠습니다. So we will have some more interesting stories with Walter in News Focus after a song. We'll listen to Sting and Shaggy, Just One Lifetime.